Two very dangerous British criminals were gunned down in a bar in Spain, in Costa del Sol. Does this mean that Spain is dangerous? Is it like the Wild West? Is it a place where you have to be careful? Or is there maybe something else that we can learn from this? Folks, as always, welcome to the Modern Survivalist. If you want to learn more about objective, realistic, practical survival and preparedness without the fear and paranoia that we often see, you have the channel with a ton of information, and I suggest you get my books as well, Surviving the Economic Collapse, and specifically for this, 3 survival skills. A ton of information here in terms of self-defense, on how to defend yourself against someone armed, how to barricade a door, how to improvise properly a tourniquet, and a ton more information that could be very useful during an emergency. You have it in Amazon in those links below in the description of the video. So, one of the things that as I just said, right, when I was mentioning my books, is what we do here is realistic, objective survival and preparedness without fear, paranoia, and nonsense. And it's probably one of the hardest things to do. These days, especially, people want polarized views and opinions on everything. You don't want to have an objective, cool-headed analysis. But unfortunately for you, that's what we're gonna do. So, is it that Spain has become this no man's land where British gang members are shooting at well, no. I mean, it is awful that this has happened, and it's certainly a very bad precedent. You don't want to have people gunning down, even if it's a hitman gunning down to gang members. Still, it shouldn't be the case. You should have law enforcement taking care of these things. You should not have people feeling that they can get away with doing this sort of thing. So no, it's not good. Now, at the same time, is it that Spain is some horrible, terrible place to live in? Let's actually go and verify that. It's something you can check. For example, list countries by intentional homicide rate, right? This is a statistic that I use because it usually gives you a pretty good idea of how dangerous or safe a place is. If people are getting murdered all day long, yeah, that's usually going to be a bad precedent. If it's very safe and that never happens, well, that's actually going to be very good. There's other information like violent crime, theft, there's other stuff, but I find that homicide is a very solid indicator in terms of how safe a place is or not. And when we analyze this, we find that we have some interesting information. So you can go one way or the other, right? We can go the rate, the highest rate is going to be Turks and Caicos Island, U.S. Virgin Island. Damn, that's Jamaica. Yeah, Haiti, South Africa. Yeah, you could say these are dangerous places. Mexico here. All right. What about some of the safest places in the world? Well, of course, we have American Samoa, seems to be 0. The Holy See, 0. Island of Man, 0. These are places that have no homicides in these years, right? But keep in mind, Holy See, that's the Vatican. It is this big, and there's a guy with a big hat and very little else. So, yeah, we get it. What about the Island of Man? It's a tiny island, man, of course. So, yeah, Island of Man, super safe. And then you have countries like Qatar. You have countries in Africa that probably have doubtful ways of measuring, even China. But then you have countries like, for example, Italy, South Korea. Zimbabwe is safer than Italy. I very much doubt that a lot, right? So I will also cross-check this with the transparency and corruption levels of these countries. And that's where China and Zimbabwe probably don't do very good. But what about Italy? I will assume that Italy is honest in terms of their homicide rates. I will probably say that, yeah, Italy seems to be doing quite well. Slovakia, Switzerland, Ireland. Obviously, these are places where you have a 0.5 every 100,000 people. That's a pretty low homicide. And guess what you see here? Spain. Wow, that's actually, so out of the, and this is top 30, but again, keep in mind, some of these are not even real countries. Like, come on. I mean, Isle of Man, Holy See, and a bunch of, so out of the countries that you probably heard of, it's going to be one of the top 10 safest countries in the entire planet. Spain, Netherlands, Ireland, Switzerland, Spain, all of these pretty much have very, very safe numbers. Norway, and then you go down from there, right? So again, in spite of what just happened, Spain is obviously tremendously safe, 0.6. That's a very low number. And we go up and we see, Poland, all right, Portugal. I thought Portugal was safe, but these numbers can change from one year to the next. So Portugal's still very good. Germany there, we keep on going a little bit up. Austria, right? Scotland, Finland, Denmark. Okay, Iceland. I'm surprised by this. Iceland, really? That's almost 1 every 100,000. That's gonna be pretty high. That's like 30% more than Spain. Just a big difference. And then we keep on, and then we have UK. UK has almost twice it's almost 2 times the homicide rate that you have in Spain. That's a pretty, you're looking. Sweden, same thing, and we know that Sweden has serious gang problems. Obviously, UK does too, and France definitely. You see this, Egypt, okay. You see these numbers go. All right, so you see it going up, and Liberia. This Gibraltar to 3.1. Gibraltar is a freaking pirate's nest, and the number shows that. And we keep on getting Argentina, my country here, 4.3. Argentina is a dangerous place. 4.3. That's definitely gonna be. That's more than 4 times the number that you have. What was it in Spain? 0.6 was it? 0.6 or 0.7. Let's go 0.7. So it is quite a bit more, like 5 times more than it is. Not 30% more, 40%. No, it's 500% times more. That is a lot. That is a significant difference, and it does check out because Argentina is definitely a lot more dangerous than Spain. No question about it. No doubt whatsoever. Pakistan, Bolivia, Nigeria, whatnot. United States. United States is more dangerous than Argentina? Well, yes. Well, yes, it is. United States is more dangerous than Argentina. Oh, but that is not okay. That's because of those liberals and Democrats. It is. Yeah, no shit. It's always the case that crime mostly concentrates in the city. You can't just pick. Oh no, but this place is no. This isn't an average. This is an average. You don't like the average? That's too bad. But the average says that Thailand is more dangerous than Switzerland, and it is true. The average says that the United States has 5.7 murders every 100,000 citizens. That is a large number, man. That is a big, big number. And you know what? It has gotten worse. It used to be that Argentina was far more dangerous than the United States. You had like a point and a half more than US. Now, United States is more dangerous than Argentina. And it is totally true that crime in Argentina focuses mostly in Buenos Aires and in the southern part where I live. That was very dangerous. So if you go by that, yeah, very likely where I lived in Argentina was probably a lot more dangerous than where most people watching the video live in US if you happen to be lucky. But if you live in any city or if you live in any town that is being hit bad by crime, the average does not lie. United States, in average, has more murder than Argentina. It is more dangerous than Argentina. You don't like it? Well, that's too bad. That's simply the way it is. But these are the sorts of numbers we look at when objectively analyzing. Dude, this is very bad, by the way. I'm actually a little bit shocked by seeing how bad it is. 5.7, I mean, look at the countries around this number. That's seriously a concern. But just the way it is, guys. We need to just observe this, analyze it, and plan accordingly. If you want to learn how to protect yourself from the violent crime that is obviously happening in your cities and your countries, well, that's what we do here. That's what I write about all the time. See you next time. Take care.